Hello, I'm Janae. I am the poet of Infinite Ways to Burn. My new book out today, May 4th, 2025. I'm so excited. So excited to share this body of work with you. So excited for y'all to read it and just have it in your hands and just to feel all the things. This is going to be the reading of some of the poems in here. Yeah. Hopefully it'll inspire you to buy it if you haven't already. And definitely don't forget to leave a review. So, I have a list of poems I'm going to read. I'm going to start with a couple that my friends liked. So, I'll start with My Friend Looked at Me. So, this is page 23. It's called My Friend Looked at Me. With tears in her eyes, and told me, sing out, sing loudly, because she longed to turn her pain into beauty, and the notes I produced were the start of healing for her. So I did. I sang to her, sang to find my voice, sang because no one had ever looked at me like I had the power to mend a broken heart with just one note. She believed in me, so I tried to believe in myself. And if you watch the Q&A video, I did talk a little bit about this poem, and it's based on a situation where my friend and I was at her house and we had some drinks and we were talking and she was crying and we're listening to music. It was a lot going on and I'm singing like whatever was on. I don't even know what song was playing, but she's like, sing loudly, like sing to me and mend her with these beautiful notes that I'm producing. I don't know, I felt like that way in the moment of just music being a point of connection, a point of healing. Yeah, it was really cool. So that's why I wrote this poem. Usually I don't read books with trigger warnings, but don't read poems with trigger warnings. But this one does have a trigger warning, so if you need to skip this one, skip it. So this one is called Petite Mort. Trigger warning: domestic violence. It's very short. There's a hickey blooming on my neck, as tacky as I think they are. The bruises you leave with your fists are far worse. I can't tell where my punishment scars begin and my sexual souvenirs you leave for me end. This one is kind of about, well, first of all, there's a note in the back of my book. Petite mort is a French expression that means little death and is often used to describe an orgasm. It's kind of like consciousness leaving you. And because this is like a poem related to sex, I thought that would be fitting, but also because there's also this element of a little death in dying inside when somebody is hurting you in this way, physically, emotionally, in any way. When someone's hurting you, there's also kind of this element of like a little death, a little bit more of you dies with the pain, at least in my experience. So I kind of use that as kind of a double meaning there. So next I'm going to read Las Vegas Triptych. This is page 5. Well, I talked about this in the Q&A. You have to watch the Q&A. So Las Vegas Triptych, I'm from Vegas, and I wrote about home. The first poem, which has been, it's grown since when I wrote it at the Unearthed Writing Retreat, but I went to a writing retreat in Seattle. The theme was hometowns, but I did it as a triptych, which is 3. I like triptych. I like art history, and so a triptych painting is a painting with 3 panels, and this section here has 3 poems about Vegas. So hopefully that explains it. The first poem, Tempting Fate. It seldom rains. The city could set itself on fire. I've watched it try. Sand dancing with the sun, begging it to do its worst. When the temperature gets this high, I watch the city tempt fate, ask to burn. Sometimes I wish to burn with it. Second poem, Night Drive in Las Vegas. This is the one that I remember writing at the retreat. I shouldn't have to use GPS in the place where I was born. I might as well be a tourist in this town of casinos with slot machines in every 7-Eleven. I roll down the windows and suffocate on the dry heat. Watch cones spring up on the side of the road, flowers that don't need water. Try not to let the smell of Jack in the Box lure me back to the childhood I barely had. Trying not to get nauseous at the thought of adolescent acquaintances pretending to remember me from school. There are bright lights in this big city, but sometimes they are blinding. I often wonder if deserts are meant to feel this deserted, and if I'll ever be able to drive around this city without guidance. Then the third poem in this set is No Place Like Home. and home is italicized. Vegas is the excitement of hearing the bell on the corn man's cart, our version of the ice cream truck, elotes, mayo all over my mouth, chili powder burning my lips. Vegas is errands in the early morning or at night, not daring to go up against the dry heat when temperatures hit 3 digits. Vegas is both what you see on TV, casinos and showgirls, and not, children being sent to school and the mountains. Vegas is the strange questions I get asked about what it was like to live there. Did you spend all your time in casinos? To which I want to respond, do most kids spend all their time in casinos? Or, have you seen any ghosts? To which I want to respond, yes, myself. She greets me each time I return home. Vegas is the place I traded in for humid Atlanta. It's better high school and life with my dad. So when I return home, I'm a visitor. Vegas and I are strangers to one another. Vegas is the place I was born, but I'm too afraid to call it home because home is a place of familiarity and comfort. I can't always attribute those feelings to Vegas. The next one is As You Wished, page 13. You tried to rid me from your life after our summer romance turned sour, but I deeply ingrained myself inside our friend circle. Even when I'm not physically present, I'm always in the room. My name slithers from friends' mouths, bounces off the walls. I am inescapable. Your rain cloud, nightmare, haunting. You called me monster so much I started to play my role. Good luck trying to sage me from your system. So next I'm going to read Empty. This one is on page 24. And I think I wrote this somewhat at the retreat as well. I don't know that this one necessarily had a lot to do with home. It had to do with home in a different sense, making a home out of people. Not even the moon could gather the strength to be full tonight. I think to myself as you say, this is a phase. I guess you're in denial about how toxic this relationship has become. We should end this, but neither of us is willing to put us out of our misery. The car windows are down and SZA's Saturn plays softly on my phone. I imagine life would be better anywhere but here, with your complaints and lack of awareness in my ear. I am gray, the same shade that coats this beat up Taurus outside my dad's beat up apartment building. I'm trying not to sink from the weight of this beat up heart. Maybe I should finally plant some roots inside of myself, make me the home I've been searching for in vacant people. Next, I'm going to read My Memoir Could Be Called. This is page 30, and if you watch the Q&A, you'll see where I kind of talk about this poem and it being like the core of the book. Definitely a poem that I think could be the core of the book. My memoir could be called Depression Knocks and I Always Answer. Wilting flower, please bloom again. How much of me is me and how much of me is an amalgamation of everyone else? I always fall in love with the wrong person. Indecisiveness is sexy if I can figure out how to wear it. Where do I go when I crawl inside myself? I'm tired of staring at the blood on my hands, wondering if it's coming from my lover's heart or mine. It's hard to call any one place home when I've never felt like I belonged anywhere. In trying to keep my lover honest, did I make a liar out of myself? So many things to say, no more beautiful words left to say them. If I keep running towards love, will I ever fall into its arms? I closed my eyes. I closed my eyes, felt my body become an earthquake, crumble and fold in on itself. I will know that I am loved when I feel safe. If I run away, will I run into myself? That one, I took the theme of like my memoir could be called from a poem. It was a line in a poem of an Ada Limon poem. It was a line in an Ada Limon poem. There we go. So giving her credit for that inspiration, and then a lot of the lines I came up with, but then I also pulled some of these other lines from other poems that felt incomplete, or that I was like, I'm not gonna use this, or I'm not gonna like expand on this, but I do like this line, and so I'm gonna put it here, kind of. Next, I'm gonna read Naked Truth, page 40. I wrote this one morning sitting in at the retreat as well. Not about home, but I was sitting next to this window, looking out the window and listening to music and writing. So this is one where in my Q&A app, there was a question about music influencing my writing. And this is one where music did influence my writing. So this one's called Naked Truth. It's on page 40. Shirt on the chair in the corner, pants splayed across the floor. I gaze into your eyes. I can tell you want more. I'm looking for a good time. You're looking for forever. I know the mess we'll make by being here together. I can't stop my want. You can't stop your need. We're going nowhere fast. Hope we can handle the speed. This affair is fatal. You and I are proof. We had to take our clothes off to find the naked truth. And this was inspired by Division song, um, another one. And there's a line in there where he's like, sometimes we take our clothes off to find the naked truth. And yeah, this was inspired by that. Next is April Is That You. One of my friends really liked this one. It's on page 54. When people call me by my mother's name, April, I tell them that I'm not my mother, just a poorly made replica. I smile and pretend that I am my mother because I'm good at that. I wonder if I am April, the way I bring doom and gloom and no bloom. I wish I could be May instead. I think, will my kids ever feel lost in my shadow, blinded by my light? When people call me April, I feel closer than ever to my mother, yet so far away. And this is actually a poem that I put in my newsletter. If you follow my newsletter or may have seen it on social media, I think I posted it there too. And I posted my mother's response to this poem, which made me cry. Ugh, I may post it in here if I remember. I'm going to read Room Service next. Second to last poem. Try to keep this short. This one's on page 58. Room Service. Have fun searching for me in her eyes, on her lips, in between her legs, comparing her haphazard movements with my light and airy ones, her monotone voice with my sultry and soulful one, while the memories of us come crashing through your mind as you're lying next to her on a silent night, wishing it were me. Knowing that my heart is home to another, while your heart is a cheap, trashy motel full of one-night stands, no connections of substance. This one I feel like is really cool because again it is playing with the form of the poem and you're getting some lines here and some lines there and kind of like the way that it reads and it goes with that kind of comparison of one and the other. And this is her and this is me and so I think visually it's really appealing. Lastly, I'm going to read Into the Fire, which is the last poem of the book on page 65. Goodbye to the girl who so easily went up in flames when others asked her to. Goodbye to the girl who so easily went up in flames when others asked her to set herself on fire to prove her dedication to them. Into the fire now I toss negative self-talk, the need to run away, and the desire to be palatable. I toss the version of her who crawls on all fours for crumbs of love and who's uncomfortable being herself. Oh, darling, you won't be missed, but you will be mourned and remembered all the same. I'll never forget the woman I've outgrown. I won't let history repeat itself. So yeah, it's kind of like the final poem of the book, and it kind of throws in or pulls in some lines or things from previous poems and ties it up kind of in that way. So I hope you enjoyed the reading. I only wanted to read a few. I want to give you a taste of the book. Definitely pick it up, read the rest, leave a review, let me know what you think, hit me up. I'm doing a giveaway today, so follow me on social media or get on my newsletter, linked in my bio. My social media is at all that jazz, at ALLTHATJHAZZ_. That's my Instagram, and that's primarily what I use. That's where the giveaway will be. So follow me there. Yeah, pick up the book. Thank you for watching this video, the Q&A video. Thank you for being here. Thank you for reading. Thank you for listening. Thank you if you made it all the way to the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed the book. Take care of yourself. Happy Infinite Ways to Burn Day to all who celebrate.